and welcome to this very special episode of Talent Search Cymru. My name's Kaleih Noakes and I'm the host for this very special episode, where our 9 finalists will be performing live from home. So one of our mentors today has made a real good effort for this episode today. Joey?
Oh yeah, Kaleih. Yeah, I thought I'd make light of the situation. I've got my kitchen roll, my sanitizer, you know, with everything going on at the moment. It is better to stay safe than sorry, so make sure you're washing your hands, everyone.
So this round's going to run exactly the same as any other round, where our 9 finalists will be performing and our judges will give their comments. So sit back, relax and enjoy the episode. And to start the show off, we have the very talented Katie Williams, who is going to be performing Ocean Eyes. This was her very first song and she'd like to now show us how far she's come.
I've been watching you for some time. Can't stop staring at those ocean eyes, burning cities and napalm skies. 15 flares inside those ocean eyes. Your ocean eyes, no fair. You really know how to make me cry when you give me those ocean eyes. I'm scared. I've never fallen from quite this high, falling in your ocean eyes. Those ocean eyes. I've been walking through a world gone blind. Can't stop thinking about your diamond mind. Careful creature made friends with time. He left her lonely with a diamond's mind and those ocean eyes, no fair. You really know how to make me cry when you give me those ocean eyes. I'm scared. I've never fallen from quite this high, falling in your ocean eyes. Those ocean eyes. No fair. You really know how to make me cry when you give me those ocean eyes. I'm scared. I've never fallen from quite this high, falling into your ocean eyes. Those ocean eyes.
Oh, well done, Katie.
That was a stunning performance. What's your opinions, judges?
Wow, well done, Katie. That was absolutely beautiful. Do you know what? I'm glad that you kind of redid your audition song because it reminded me so much that you've grown a lot. I mean, to think back at your audition when you sang this song, Ocean Eyes, you've come so far. You're doing so many like falsetto notes, you're belting a lot, and it's absolutely beautiful to remember the growth that you've had. And it was really nice to hear your vocals again. I think they were absolutely beautiful. I think you nailed the song. You had really nice control. The one thing I do wish I saw was that you played with it a bit more, because obviously, like I said, we have seen you grow a bit more since your audition song, and I think you could have maybe played a tiny bit more just to make it a little bit different, but other than that, it was absolutely beautiful. Well done.
And Kaleih, what did you think?
Do you know, I'm really glad that you chose to do that song, because it showed off such an improvement. It showed off an improvement in your vocals, and an improvement in how you sort of like conduct yourself, you know, your presence. You just looked so much more confident, so much more comfortable. You could tell that you were really pushing your voice as well, and that you weren't afraid of you weren't holding back, which was really lovely to see. I loved your falsetto in it, and I think that song really shows off how you transition easily into your falsetto and how much stronger your falsetto has become. And towards the end you added an ad-lib, which I thought was fantastic, because it's so nice to see people sort of like embracing their talent and pushing their ability, you know, and you're one of those people who constantly pushes your ability. You don't stay at one level, you're constantly striving to do better, and I think that song really showed off how far you've come, and I just thought it was overall a really fab performance. Well done. It was so nice to hear your voice again as well.
And Joey?
Do you know what was really nice about this performance? What I enjoyed about it the most was the fact of it really did show me, from when you performed this in the audition, from the audition up to now, the change in you as a person. And I know, like, being in lockdown can be quite difficult with keeping your confidence up and things like that, because it is hard for us all, you know, especially when you're on this sort of journey where you're growing and growing and growing, and then you get to a point where it kind of stops and it's like, where do I go? Just keep singing, keep doing what you're doing. It was absolutely stunning. I felt like you was more confident in certain parts of the voice in this. It was really nice to see. But the main thing for me, for you, is just to keep believing yourself. Sing as much as you can. All right, that's all you need to do, is sing as much as you can.
And thank you very much, judges. And next up, we have the very talented Katie Bynan singing a choice that means something to her. This is What It Means to Be a Friend. That was a performance. Judges, what do you think of that?
What a beautiful rendition of what it means to be a friend. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to that song. I think it was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, in my personal opinion, I think it was one of the best I've ever heard you, even though it is the quarantine round, unfortunately. And through a video, I think it was absolutely beautiful. Your whole persona, it just added to everything. Your vocals were on point, your acting was on point. You even took the mic off the stand. You gave it your all in that video, and I'm very proud of you for that. Well done, babes.
Kaleih, what did you think?
Katie, I've never heard that song before, but you sang it so well. I really loved how you performed like you were on a stage. Like it didn't bother you that we were in lockdown or anything. You just completely owned it. The way that you used the mic and you took it off the stand. It was like we were at Tredegar Rugby Club and we were watching you on stage. And I love that you don't let anything faze you. You get in the zone and you give your all to every single performance that you do. And I thought vocally it was so strong because you always managed to sort of convey the drama of the song. You always managed to get the right amount of emotion in your voice to put the message across. I just think you are such a perfect musical theatre singer because you just capture the essence of whatever song that you take on. It showed off so many different things that you can do with your voice, and the one thing that really stuck out for me was the vulnerability of your falsetto. I just thought that was just so beautiful, the way that you used your falsetto in that song. And it was a lovely performance. It really was.
Joey.
I was really, really impressed with that. What I really loved about this is that you kind of stuck to your roots. You did what you do best, and that's theatre, and that's them powerful notes. When you got to that middle section of it and your voice became thicker and louder, I was like, wow, there she is. I really do feel like you put all your heart and soul in how you came across in this. The effort you made with where you performed it to and the microphone stand, it was absolutely stunning. And like I said to Katie earlier on, just keep singing at home and just keep occupied, because it's good for you to keep your confidence up with the singing. Wow, I can't wait to see what you do in the finals. Well done.
Thank you, judges, for your comments. Finally, last up in Anya's category is the youngest contestant of the series, Ellie Roberts, singing Michael Jackson's Earth Song.
What about sunrise? What about rain? What about all the things that you said we were to gain? What about killing fields? Is there time? What about all the things that you said was yours and mine? Did you ever stop to notice all the blood we've shed before? Did you ever stop to notice this brighter things we've been short? What have we done to the world? Look what we've done. What about all the peace that you pledged your only son? What about flowering fields? Is there time? What about all the dreams that you said was yours and mine?
do you think of that performance?
It was absolutely beautiful. You know, I love hearing you sing because every single time we do, you always take us on this emotional path. You always try so hard to emotionally connect to all of your songs and try and tell a story. And it was just beautiful. Everything from that song, from your lower notes to your high notes. I mean, you tried really hard on that song and it was absolutely beautiful. Everything paid off. Everything was really nicely controlled and you just owned it.
Kaleih?
What an unusual song choice for you to do, because I'm used to you singing these sort of like big iconic diva female songs, and so when I heard like the intro for Michael Jackson, I was so intrigued. And do you know what, you made that song completely your own. You did it so much justice. You sang it like it was a power ballad, so you put your own style on that song, on that track, and you made it sound completely different from the original, and I absolutely loved that. It was so unique the way that you did it, and I think as well it showed off just how much potential that you have got in your voice. Obviously you're still at the beginning of your journey with your voice, so obviously there's still going to be so much more to come from you, and that's a really good thing. But one of the things that I picked up, one of the things I could hear was there were certain parts in there where you moved your voice and you moved it quite quickly. So I think as you develop, I think that is going to be one of your strengths. I think you're going to have a great deal of vocal agility, and I think you're going to be able to adapt to any sort of song that's given to you. Yeah, I thought that was a real moment for you. I think that was a real original moment for you. So well done.
I could keep this clap going all day. The reason I'm doing this, Ellie, is because what I saw in this performance in particular was somebody that's actually taking a big risk. You know, this is Michael Jackson. This is the Earth song. It's not one of them songs you tend to see people covering just because of the style of it and the way the voice throws in the choruses. It's not one that people usually do. But my God, let's not forget that you are the youngest in this whole entire process, and you've just done that with a Michael Jackson song. The fact of you pushing yourself and being intrigued and trying different styles of music you wouldn't usually do is what makes me intrigued by what you're going to do next. Another performance I really think suited you. Another performance that was really out your comfort zone, and you got to give credit when it is due, and this is when it's due. Wow, well done.
Thank you very much, judges. Right guys, moving on now to Kaleih's category, and up first is the very talented Macy Louise Wren with her own spin on Sia's Chandelier.
Party girls that don't let her can feel anything. When will I let her push it down, push it down? I'm the one for a good time, call phones blowing up, ringing my doorbell. I feel the love, feel the love. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink. Throw back till I lose count. I'm gonna swim from the chandelier, from the chandelier. I'm gonna leave like tomorrow doesn't exist, like it doesn't exist. I'm gonna fly like a bird through the night, feel my desert they dry. I'm gonna swim from the chandelier, from the chandelier.
Well done, Macy. Anya, what's your thoughts on that performance?
Do you know what, Mace? Right, I love the fact that every single round you always challenge yourself. I mean, even now in this quarantine round, I mean, a lot of people, I think, would have played it a bit safe. You know, they're not in front of an audience. They don't have anyone to please. They can just play it a bit safe, you know, sing what they want to sing and send in the video. But you really did challenge yourself with this song, and I admire that. I admire that you took a risk and you were a bit brave. And I think that shows a lot of who you are. However, I do not think that this song was the right choice for you. I personally think that your vocals, I don't think you were comfortable singing this song. I think you would have been better singing this song possibly in a lower key, because your vocals on the verse, they were absolutely beautiful, and I much preferred the verse to the chorus. But other than that, I commend you for taking a massive risk. Well done.
Kaleih, what did you think?
Oh, Macy, do you know what? I've really missed you. I've missed your personality. I've missed like seeing you at rehearsals and seeing you at the rugby club. You know, Sia naturally suits your voice because you've got that sort of, there's a way that you end certain phrases that is very sort of like resembles Sia. I'm not sure that song was the best to show off your voice, and I think confidence kind of like let you down, if anything. You vocally, you didn't seem to be confident with where your voice was going or what you wanted to do. And I know how hard you are on yourself all the time in rehearsals. You need those sort of like rehearsals to sort of like boost you up. So I think this round was just throwing you in completely at the deep end, and that seemed to really affect sort of like confidence in where you could go vocally. You can nail this song. We've heard you sing bigger songs. We know that you can do it 100%. I just think that maybe with the current situation that you haven't been able to like stay on top of singing and stay on top of rehearsals, I think maybe your confidence has taken a step back. So I can't wait until all this is over and we can work on getting you back up to where you actually need to be. You know, need to be believing and need to know that you can do whatever you want with those vocals.
There's a few mixed opinions here for me, because firstly, I like the fact that you took on a challenge. I like the fact that you did try something that, you know, you're the type of person that feels, you know, you need that, the comments from myself or Kaleih or whoever before you even make a decision to perform a song. You like to have opinions from people because you are very unsure of yourself, and it is something we've mentioned over and over, you know, just believe in yourself. This was a risk and it didn't work fully. It wasn't a song that fully worked vocally for you. There was parts in the chorus that were falling off a little bit, but again, we know what you're capable of. So you've got to remember, although this might not have worked perfectly as in this terms of this song, I wish it was longer, a lot longer. It was very, very short. But because this didn't work for you as a vocalist, it doesn't mean you're not a great vocalist. It just means that you took a risk. It wasn't the right risk. But try something else. Just be a bit more sure of yourself and not just all over the place. So what shall I do? What shall I do? Calm down, relax, and do something you know you're going to 100% be confident with. Other than that, well done for taking on the challenge, and you should be proud of yourself.
Thank you, judges, for your comments. Performing live from Merthyr, we have Jack next, who will be singing Redemption Song.
Old pirates, yes, they robbed by, sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit, but my hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery, none but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it, we've got to fulfill the book. won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Whoa! Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Yes, some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Oh, won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption songs. All I ever have, redemption songs. These songs of freedom, redemption songs.
Well done, Jack. Judges.
Do you know what? It was so nice to see you playing your guitar again. I know that the last few rounds you've been using the backing tracks, but there was something about seeing you with your guitar that just kind of reminded me of the growth that you've had, because it just reminded me so much of when you sang Bruises in your first audition with your guitar, and it was quite a nice moment for me because I just remembered everything. But do you know what? I really enjoyed listening to you singing that song. I mean, you looked so comfortable back with your guitar. You sang, and your vocals were on point. They were absolutely beautiful. I mean, that song that you sang, you nailed it. It is definitely one of my favourites of this round, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Because you did seem really comfortable and it was absolutely awesome.
It's so nice to hear your voice again. I'm finding watching all these videos that I'm really missing people.
I agree, Kelly, but what did you think of his choice?
Redemption song. I think I would have really liked to hear you sing something else that you've been working on. I think you're one of the fortunate ones because you can play guitar and you can play so well. That it would have been really nice to sort of see what you could have come up with, because you know, when we left the competition you were starting to go down the road of exploring how you could put your own stamp on songs, and you were being really sort of like creative with everything, and I think I just would have liked to have seen a little bit more of that. I think you still need a little bit of work on the higher notes. I think you still need to build your confidence and maybe work on your breathing so that when you're going in for the higher notes, there's a little bit more strength behind them and they're not so strained. But saying that, there were parts of that with the vocal where your voice actually sounded a lot thicker than what it had the first time that you sang that song. So I think on the other hand, the fact that you sang that song did show off that you have made a huge improvement and that you have been on a journey. So I think it did you well overall to sing something that that you've already sung.
And Joey?
You know, just by having conversations with people throughout this process where we've all been in lockdown, is that I do feel like, you know, your confidence is slowly slipping since this gap. And it's not your fault. It's not a fault sort of situation. It's just a case you were the one person in the process while it was running that I was really, really pushing. And the reason I was pushing you so much is because I knew how much you doubted yourself. So for us to have this gap has had a knock-on effect. And I can see that because the energy level in your performance isn't as full as it needs to be. It was still fab. It was still a great performance. I absolutely love this song for your voice. I love the quirkiness in your voice. But don't be frightened to take risks in who you are, because you've got everything there to do. Don't ever hold back. And like I said, you've been on a roll throughout the competition so far, and you have been developing and growing. And the last few weeks, especially coming up to the semi-finals, we started to see you form into an incredible artist. But this drop has peaked a little bit on you, and you have tended to slip back a little bit. But don't push yourself and go for it, because you've got everything to do it. Well done, buddy.
Thank you, judges, for your comments. And finally, to end Kaleih's category, we have the very talented Emily Louise Tapper performing Don't Stop Believing.
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere. A singer in a smoky room, smell of wine and cheap perfume. For a smile they could share the night. It goes on and on and on and on. Strangers waiting up and down the boulevard. Their shadows searching in the night. Street lights, people living just to find emotion, hiding somewhere in the night. Working hard and taking my fill. Everybody wants a thrill, paying anything to roll the dice just one more time. Some will win, some will lose. Some are gonna sing the blues, and all the moving never ends. It goes on and on and on and on. Strangers waiting up and down the boulevard. Their shadows searching in the night. Street lights, people living just to find emotion, hiding somewhere in the night. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Street light, people. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Street light, people. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Street light, people. Don't stop.
Well done,
Do you
Emily.
know what?
Wow, that was a fantastic performance. What do you think of that, judges?
I really like this choice personally. I think that it's so different to songs that we've heard you sing before. I mean, you've sung songs like Still Into You by Paramore. I mean, you've sung songs like Anyone by Demi Lovato. But this one, I don't think we've heard you sing something different from this sort of like punky, sort of edgy, emotional type of thing you've got going on. And it was really nice to see something sort of different. I mean, Don't Stop Believing, I never would have expected that from you. And I'm pleasantly surprised, I won't lie to you. It was really nice to kind of see you having a bit of fun with your song. I mean, you dolled up, you looked absolutely gorgeous. You really went for it, you know, and it was lush to see. Your vocals were on point. I mean, everyone's vocals have been on point. They were absolutely incredible. And I think it was up there with one of your best ones, only because you had so much fun with it.
Emily, it's really nice to hear you keeping with that sort of like rock edge. But having said that, to me, Don't Stop Believing is a massive cabaret song. It's done all over the pubs all the time. So I don't think that that song did your vocals any justice. I don't think it showed off what we know that you can do vocally. I think you are bigger and better than that song. But on the other hand, you put so much personality into the performance. It was lovely to see you sort of having so much fun with the song, the way you were dancing about and moving, and you really got into it. So you really, really enjoyed it, and I think that was the most important thing, was just watching you enjoy it. It was just, well, if you enjoy it, we enjoyed it. So well done, lovely.
What I really liked about this performance was that it showed off, to me, a different side to you. The fact that you performed a bit more, you went for it in the video, was fab. But what I didn't tell you, which I wasn't going to tell you, but I am going to tell you, is when you first sent me these choices you had, or shall I do this, shall I do that, I was thinking to myself, I generally don't want her to do this song. Not because of you, because of the song itself. It's a puppy song. It's one of them songs that have been overdone, and I weren't fixed on that. I would have definitely fallen for the other. But after listening to them both, I was like, wow, this is another level to where to show her a different side from the competition, and it has to be done. And you absolutely smashed it. You should be really impressed with yourself, Emily.
Thank you very much, judges. And now it's time for our Overs Mentors, Kaleih's performance, and here it is.
Side by side, there's a shadow across his mind. mine, what it takes to come alive.
Well done, Kelly, what a stunning performance. It's not easy to film during lockdown, especially for this next duo who've had the very difficult task of having to film harmonies and also film their own parts. So up next is Irie and Mia with a fantastic job of their favourite performance, Falling. Yeah, well done, Irie and Mia. Let's have the opinions from the judges.
Girls, that was incredible. Do you know what? This was incredibly challenging for the both of you. It was so hard. I can't even imagine being in a duo and having to record my part separately, not knowing what my other partner's going to do. So, like, yeah, you deserve a massive round of applause for that. That was incredible. I don't think I could have ever done that. I mean, it sounded great, you know? I'm so mind blown and shocked of how it turned out, because you two, you didn't know anything, you know? You just sang your part and sent it off, and wow, it was just, it's mind blowing to me, because both your vocals were so beautiful, and you know, they were equally as stunning, and you just slayed the song even though you weren't together. Do you know what? You deserve that again, girls.
I agree, Anya. Well done, both.
I loved you singing this song. When I first heard you sing it, it was one of those standout moments for you. It was one of those songs where you really came together as a duo. And you know what, girls, you totally did it justice again a second time. I know that it wasn't possible at all for you to learn any new songs with the current situation and not being able to get together, and it must have been extremely challenging for you to record your part separately and hope for the best that when you came together it worked. And you know what, it did work. Your harmonies were absolutely lovely, and you should be just so proud of everything that you've achieved up to this point. And I think this round just shows how far you have come as a duo. The fact that you can record your parts separately, and when they come together they can sound like they did. You honestly, huge well done to you both for what you've achieved. Well done.
Well done, girls. I'm so proud of you both. This wasn't meant to be easy, and this wasn't going to be easy for you out of everyone to do this round, because the fact that you both live in different households and you both have separate lives. What I really loved about this was that you did something that I thought was going to crumble. Now, I absolutely love this song, but when you was both doing your solo parts together, I was thinking, oh my God, is this going to be able to is it going to be able to be put back together clean and tidy? Few bits obviously were in the choruses where they weren't fully shaped. Irie's vocal was stretched out a bit more than yours, but regardless to that, this worked so much more than I expected it to work. It was a shock to me and a shock to my system. Girls, you should be so impressed with yourselves. You've come so far throughout this journey, and it's a reason why you're still in the process now and heading to that final, is because of what you can do together as a duo. Wow.
Thank you, judges, for your comments. Moving on, we have our other duo, Georgia and Will, performing a very unusual choice of Spaceman.
Starry night bring me down, still I realize the moon. It seems so distant yet I felt it pass right through. And I see what I see, a new world is all for me. So I'll reach up to the sky and imagine I'm a spaceman in another place and time. I guess I'm looking for a brand new place. Is there a better life? Someone blow me, God. Let me rest upon you. I guess I'll end up sleeping right in my doom. And I feel what I feel. I can't grasp what is not real. So I'll get myself real high and pretend that I'm a spaceman in another place and time. I guess I'm looking for a brand new. Is there a better life for me? I remember in my mind, I say I'm daydreaming. Is it all that it seems? Or am I the one things I'm looking for? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I feel what I feel. I can't grasp what is not real. So I get myself real high and imagine I'm a spaceman in another place and time. I guess I'm looking for a brand new place. Is there a better life for me?
Well done,
Well
both.
done, Georgia
Well
and
done.
Will. Judges, your thoughts?
Do you know what, guys? That is by far one of my favourites of used to's, because I've never seen you give so much in a song. I mean, Will, you really went up there on that song. I really wasn't expecting it. And Georgia, you had so much more persona. You had so much more confidence. You really went for it. I mean, you rocked that mic stand. Do you know what I mean? I was so shocked. And the song just kind of flew past any type of thing that I could have imagined for you to come up with, you know? It was absolutely incredible. I think it was by far up there with your top performances, because the charisma, the chemistry you both had was by far more than the amount we've seen on stage, and that is exactly what you need when you're coming into the final. It was absolutely incredible.
Kaleih, what did you think?
Georgia, Will, what can I say about that performance? I loved it. I loved it. And I think one of the first things that struck me was Georgia, when you started singing, we heard your falsetto, because it's so sort of light and airy, which is such a contrast to your normal tone. You've got this really dark sort of captivating voice. It's so low and dark. So your falsetto against that, it provided such a beautiful contrast. And then when the voices came together, I just thought it was so dynamic. And I think that's my word for that performance. It was just a dynamic performance. Vocally, it wasn't perfect vocally, because it was a little bit strained in places, but I think that's because of how much energy was being put into it. It was such a raw performance. I loved the way that you took it in turns to sing, and then when you came together, like I said, I really loved that performance. I really enjoyed that performance, and I'm just gutted that we didn't get to see that performance live, because I think the energy would have been even more sort of like electric had we have got to witness it live. But you really worked so well together that honestly it was such a confident performance. Well done to you both.
What I really liked about this, now I weren't sure about the song choice, because I felt like it's not one of them songs that you can really do a lot with, but coming back to you two singing it, this is what you did in this performance that stood out to me. This was the loudest I have seen you both perform. This is the most I've seen you both perform. Georgia, wow, the way you came across in your video, the way you performed, perfection. And Will, your voice just came to life in this. You really went for it. We heard everything that you can both do, and it was fab. It really worked. But I want you to take this as a constructive comment. What I need you to do from this performance, because I do feel like the reason why you both could let go as much as you have in this performance is because you're not in front of an audience. And I think it made it a bit easier for you. But I want you to take on board, when you watch this back and watch the performances, take on board what you're capable of, because you've just done it in this performance and you're capable of doing it in front of a live audience. So when it comes to the finals, bring it, what you've just done. Well done.
Thank you, judges, for your comments. Finally, ending Joey's category, we have the very talented Ruby Meredith giving us a choice that's very different to what she's done so far, and it is Don't Rain on My Parade. Wow, what a fantastic way to end this very special episode, Ruby. Well done. Let's have the opinions from the judges.
That was so lush to see, so different to what you've normally sang at Talent Search. I mean, you have been challenging yourself a lot throughout the entire process, and it was so lush to see you grow. But this was a type of, it was like a different league for you. I mean, I think we've seen you sing one musical theatre song, maybe two, but this one, I mean, anyone you ask would probably know Don't Rain on My Parade, and you absolutely nailed it. I think there was one issue in the beginning where you had a bit of a timing difficulty, but honestly, forget that bit because you absolutely nailed it. That's such a hard song to sing, and your vocals were almost perfect during that song, and even the last note is so hard to hold because it's so high too. And you just kind of took my breath away when you sang it. I was like, wow, okay, damn, I wasn't expecting that from you. And it was a pleasant surprise.
You did an absolutely fantastic job with that song. It was really, really nice to see you do something so completely different from what we've seen you do so far. To take on a big musical theatre song like that. And my God, girl, you did it so well. I think that song really, really showed off like your chest voice and just how far you can push when you're on your chest voice. Because, girl, you can belt, you know, and I don't think we've seen much of that side of you yet. So you just completely flipped it around and showed off a completely different side to your voice and your personality. I mean, the amount of effort that you put into that performance, you really sort of like worked the camera, you dressed for the performance, I think you just put everything into that and gave your all, and it really paid off and it really showed. You should be so proud of that performance. It was amazing.
Joey?
What can I say? I think the neighbours just heard me do that. Wow, Ruby, this was an absolutely fantastic performance. What I really loved about this, and literally I'm buzzing by her, is that you've come out today and you've shown us a side to you which we have not seen in this process. You've shown us versatility in your voice, because there was lots and lots of parts of that if I shut my eyes, I would not have known that was the Ruby I knew in the competition. It felt like I was listening to a complete different structure to your voice, and that goes to show how much versatility is there. Vocally, I felt like this was the most push and punch I've seen in your voice. You know, little things like I noticed, like the makeup, you've done your makeup and things like that. You really made an effort for this performance. Although it's at home and it is hard for us to get comfortable and treat it like a stage performance, you really did that today. The way you dressed, the dress looked stunning. The way you performed the song was perfect. Wow, that's all I can say. I think you've taken my head thoughts on what you were capable of to another level, because after seeing this shows me that, my God, this girl is more and more and more than what she's ever been before. All I can say is you should be really impressed with what you've just done. You've blown my mind. You make me want to sanitize my hands now because I'm so sweated up and everything. It was mega. Well done.
Thank you, judges, for your comments. Now, here's a special performance, one we've been waiting for, from our founder of Talent Search Cymru, head mentor, vocal coach and studio producer, Joei Blake.
We built sandcastles that you washed away. I made you cry when you walked away. And although I promise that I couldn't stay, every promise don't work out that way, babe. Every promise don't work out that way. Dishes smashed on the counter from our last encounter. Picture snatched out the frame Yes, I scratched out your name, but what is it about you that I can erase? But every promise don't work out that way. But every promise don't work out that way. And your heart is broken 'cause I walked away. Show me your scars, 'cause I walked away. And though I promised that I couldn't stay, but every promise don't work out that way, babe. 'Cause every promise don't work out that way.
Well done, Joey, what a fantastic performance. That concludes our very special episode of Talent Search Cymru. Don't forget, the finals are not too far away and we're all looking forward to seeing what the finalists bring. And now all that's left to say is thank you very much for watching, take care, stay safe and much love.